Hi, this video is from interview.com. Interview.com is a job portal. If you're looking for a job, you can post your resume with us. In this video, I'm going to talk about basics of JUnit. What is JUnit? JUnit is a simple open source framework to write and run repeatable tests. It is an instance of XUnit architecture for unit testing frameworks. JUnit, originally written by Eric Kama and Ken Beck, has been important in the evolution of test-driven development. Test-driven developments first write the test case and then write the code so that the test cases are not broken. What are the benefits of JUnit test cases? JUnit unit testing belongs to a single unit of code. Please remember, always a single unit of code in your class, which can be a single class for Java. JUnit helps us to code and test both during the development. JUnit ensures that the modifications in the code will not break your system without your knowledge. So you can be more confident if you have JUnit test cases covering all the scenarios. JUnit helps to test legacy code automatically and less time consuming. With less time you can test the legacy code. For example, last 2 years you have coded something, you have developed some code and you want to test it automatically with less time, then JUnit helps a lot, because manual testing will be a time consuming job. So for example, you have a class and you have multiple methods. I have taken example, say 2 methods you have. Independently, these 2 methods has to be tested. For example, there is a method called int method O, okay, and it does some logic and it returns some value. Say for example, it also accepts some parameters. The things that we need to check is whatever parameters it accepts should be a valid one. It should check for minimum and maximum. Then if there is null value, it should check, and whatever the result value that you're going to return should be validated. So we have, say for example, we have written a JUnit test case. So a single method in the JUnit test case should independently test a unit of method within a class. Okay, so for example, in this class A, only this method will be tested by this test method independently. If there are any dependency, we should try to mock it. So that in the same way, there is another method, again it returns string. So we are going to test this method independently. When I say independently, I'll call only this method, then I will expect some return result. It should be the same. If it is wrong, I am going to fail the JUnit test cases. So this is how JUnit works. For example, I have a class called factorial and I have a method called calculate. Whenever I pass n, okay, what exactly it does, it should not be less than 0, that is negative values are not accepted and greater values are not accepted. If we are passing 13 or -1, it will throw illegal argument exception. Then we are storing result equal to 1. If n is less than 2, then result will be setting 1. If it is greater than 2, we are doing a for loop and we are preparing the value. And sending it. So it's a very simple program. So this unit of code we are going to test with all possible values. Okay, so this is the class under test, that is factorial is the one that I want to test, and I have written, say, factorial test factorial, which is going to test this unit of code. Okay, so there are a lot of scenarios. For example, factorial of 0 should be 1, so I'm going to pass this 0 here. Okay, it should be 1, I'm expecting 1. So whenever we pass 0 here, it is less than 2, so we are returning 1, and 1. factorial of 1 should be 1. Again, it is less than 2, it will return 1. Then factorial of n should be n times factorial of minus 1. So we are going to pass minus 1, okay, and we are going to calculate here. So here it's like how many times we are calculating. Then here it should be a negative number. We are passing a negative number, calc of minus 1. It should throw an illegal argument exception. So in the expected case, in this accepted attribute, we are putting an exception class, illegal argument exception. So this should be successful since we are passing minus 1, and we are here the negative case, that is 13, 20, 50 I will pass. That means greater than 12. So still it should give illegal argument exception. So for this unit of code, I am trying to push all possibilities and I make it work. In other case, the code coverage I am trying to do. So I'll try to cover this section. Okay, I'll try to cover this section and I will try to cover this section. So completely we are writing JUnit test cases only for this unit. So this is what the purpose of JUnit. So let's run this and check how exactly it works. So I'm going to run this. Let's see how it's going to behave. If you see here, for all the methods that I just now explained, it is giving green bar. Okay, so this is how you can do JUnit test cases. First, remember, JUnit test cases should be tested independently for the particular unit. If I have another method, say another method in this same class, so that method should be tested independently. Hope this video is useful. Thank you and all the best.